What's going on, everybody? I'm John Welsh, and I'm the gentleman.
And I'm Alex Stanford, and I'm the scholar. And this is our esteemed guest for the day, Mr. Howard Hall.
What's going on, everybody?
This is going to be an amazing episode.
I think it's going to be a funny episode.
I think it is because for those of you watching at home, which would be all of you, really, the reason why we want him on here is because this young man, I met him on the circuits back, what year was that?
I want to say it had to be 2010. How long ago was this, man?
This was at 307.
Oh, shit.
So we're talking like
We
2004, 2005.
Yeah, we talking 15 years ago.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
307.
And I was like, that's a funny dude. And then here we are, 15 years later, 16 years later, and now we're doing it. So, gentlemen, happy to have you on. This is going to be amazing. A couple of housekeeping things, though. We need to remind everybody watching at home to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications if you haven't already. Numbers are picking up. Got a lot of action on social media.
Yeah.
We've hit over 700 likes, about 800 followers.
Oh, bro.
And
That's
so
nice.
we are, for like 3 months, we're killing it. I've been invited to like all these weird cigar groups because everybody makes their own cigars on social media. It's like
it's weird.
I'm like, I like cigars. I'm like, you know what? I could use a new job. I'm gonna roll these up and like have to learn a new skill. I don't get it.
They making their own cigars online?
They have their own blends and they're selling them and have their own little bands on them. And it's like all these people like, what? Why did you do this? Like you really think I'm gonna take Perdomo down?
Some of the blends are sativa. Some
Right?
I'm just kidding.
Who's this? Is that Snoop Dogg on your band?
You got is a random rapper on your band that you're smoking right now? Absolutely.
Right? Like that's not what we meant when we said rapper.
With a W.
That's stupid. Also, I have to thank our official sponsor, Bailey Cigar Room in Karen Criollo Veterans. It's your one-stop shop for all your tobacco-related products except cigarettes. Why?
Because they're disgusting.
That's right. They're disgusting, ladies. Smoke a cigar. They're sexy. Go see Jamie and Gary. We had a little party over at Murphy's Law because our friend of the show, Ethan Matthews, moved away, got a job working as a humidor manager in Oklahoma City.
Get out.
Dude got recruited 3 states away.
Wow.
Could you believe
That's
that?
baller.
You're like, and he played for who? Oh, wait, no, this is a cigar job.
Cigar job.
They're like, we want that guy. But the thing is when you meet him, you understand why a business would be like, we need him managing our humidor because he looks like he's about 12, but he knows everything about it. He's actually 22, and we had him on the show. Dude's encyclopedic about who works where, who's doing what, the blends, the years. It's frankly intimidating. I was like,
I didn't even know you could be drafted knowing this type of information. Like I didn't know another company from outside the state, but like we need this guy.
Right. He worked for Cigar Merchant down here. And he got picked up by another company. So it's like, did you enter free agency with cigars?
Exactly. Can you tell me how to do this? Because I've been trying to get drafted for years. This shit is not working.
Because I'm still buying cigars. I'm as far removed from what that is. That's insane. So, bon voyage. Good luck to you, sir, for that. They had a nice little party. Everybody was there. Got to meet Jamie, hear some stories about interesting guys coming in and asking, like, what's your strongest cigar?
Wow.
Like, I don't know if they think this makes them cool or what, but like, it's not like going into a bar and picking on the biggest guy.
Yeah, like you don't do that.
You know, this is like, hey, I want violent nausea later. That's what's gonna happen. And sure enough, man, they give him these like black label sticks. It was a Last Rites, which is a Nicaraguan black label, very very stout cigar, and the guy threw up all night.
See, I never went no harder than Mao. So, because Mao took me to a level when I first tried. I didn't even start. I started at Mao. So what it made me feel like, I was like, okay, this is good.
I have a love for the nicotine in the leaf. I don't know what it is. I like a harsh cigar. So you could take me to the deepest, darkest place, and I'm gonna be like, "Yep, I like it."
All right. So
The way you just said that,
John likes abuse.
Apparently, he want to be taken to deep, dark places.
I know. He's like, and you can handcuff me. Like, wait, are we talking about cigars now? Because you
get real specific.
Get a little Bill Clinton on me. Making me a little uncomfortable, buddy.
Did you see them ankles?
If you come out wearing a blue dress, we're done.
That's it. Out the woods too.
But speaking of cigars, we have some picked out for you special today, Mr. Hall. So you told me a bit about what you liked, and you mentioned that you liked the mild sticks. So what I did is I picked not a mild stick, but it's close.
Really?
It's a little bit more full than mild, but it's not more than medium. So,
okay with that.
So
It's
it
in the middle.
might push you around a little bit, but I did a little reading on it. It's a 92 rated.
Yeah, I don't think
It's real nice.
All right.
It is a Camacho Criollo.
Ooh.
So this bad boy
Oh, thank
is-
you very much.
the middle line of the
that.
Camacho. So what they did about 20 years ago, they did a rebranding where they changed their bands, they changed their what their lines were going to be, and so they decided to use this like bold color. And they have like a red one, they have a green one, they have a black one, and then they have a yellow one. And they go from the lightest intensity, which is the orange, that's their Connecticut, and then they go to the Criollo, and then they go to the sun grown, and then there is their like triple Maduro Camacho, which is like a hardwood briquette.
Wow.
It's intense. But this one is tailor made for you. So we'll go ahead and do our pre-light inspection.
He said this is tailor made for you. He's like, I kind of like a light cigar, and it has a scorpion.
A scorpion on it.
He's like, so you just gonna mess me up in the beginning, and then I don't feel it?
No, I asked him to put the scorpion on the band
Okay.
for
Oh,
this
that's for that
episode because he's
specifically.
got sting on him.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounded
Look, I was
believable,
about to ask
right?
you what kind of cut, what kind of tip you get.
I like to use
Just a
a straight cut because I have a circumcision fetish. And
I'm sorry, I just dropped the cut.
no, because my wife has dainty lady hands, and
That's my wife's
a
circumcised.
traditional cutter is hard for her hands. So we got the spring-loaded straight cutter. She likes it, and it's just like a little throwing star. So we'll do our dry pull. Okay, we're getting some cedar. We're getting some chocolate,
I can taste the chocolate.
and I'll be damned, there is a honey finish on it.
Yeah.
So I was doing some research on this stick, and they said the dry pull had a dry raw honey, and I'm just
Yeah,
like,
I'm trying to get all of that.
but who smelled raw honey? You know, we all get it out of a little brown bear jar. I don't have a hive in my backyard to be like, I need some raw honey. You know, like,
Smoking this one.
take your torch, please. All right.
Yeah, there's not a. I kind of understand what they're saying, like a dry honey, like it's not.
It's got a sweetness.
Yeah, it's not.
It doesn't have
pasteurized.
a hay finish. You know, so
Yeah.
many of ours that we do has a hay finish on the dry pull.
Wait on your torch because this one is basically. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, you got it. It's got-
The bottom is adjustable, so if you don't spin it right,
Oh. Ooh. Nope, I'm waiting on that.
all right. Let's see. Can I get this one to work? Oh, there you go. See, we work together in this show. We're progressives. Yeah. Is it good? Let's go some more.
Oh, yeah, man.
There you go. All right, you good.
Oh, hey.
All right. So lead us off, Mr. Hall. What are you tasting?
Off the back, it's a woody taste. I taste, it's like an earth taste. Like it's, I do taste the honey a little bit, but not after it's lit. I don't know why that happens.
Boy, you're not real lying about that earthy note. It's surprisingly bold for how mild the cigar is.
It's pretty good.
It's interesting.
It is. It's
I like it.
It's kind of different.
It's little, yellow, different.
Do you lose the little nuances of what you smell after lighting it?
Yes. It's not uncommon at all for the notes that you pick up in your dry pull to disappear when you light it and only make a reappearance later on. It's almost magical. Like, where do the notes hide so that when you're towards the back, all of a sudden they're like, oh, here we are. And it's like,
Nah,
where were you?
This is nice. It's full too. Like I can tell it's more than a mile. It's hitting me different.
I dig it. I dig it. Another thing we need to talk about is our live show coming up, because we hit the 100 subscriber milestone, and I'm lining up some guests. It's going to be wild. Stay tuned for the details. I'm going to post them, and I want everybody to call in and embarrass us. Because
so y'all doing a live show? Where's it going to be?
It's going to be out of here.
Out of here live?
And we're going to just do it live, and we're going to let people call in or come in with questions.
See,
and
this setup right here allows people to call in.
I'm trying to,
you can hear just like we're talking.
Prime the viewers to ask embarrassing questions of John, because that's really what we all want to see. He's had a much more illustrious life than me. I've just been a nerd. So that's just what I'm saying.
I cannot put my finger on this cigar. It is mild. I mean, it's like a Connecticut, right? But the flavor notes are so pronounced that it's like a full flavored. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm like, I've had something like this, but I just can't put my finger on it.
Explain the difference between the full flavor and what you're tasting right now.
So, unless they're flavored like the vinegar cream or something, so it's got that creamy note into it, they're basically just like a tobacco flavored cigar.
Okay.
This one is, it opens up. It opens up, but it's I almost said the word. It's mild. It's just mild. I can't say the words I want to say because I'm gonna give away stuff. So I can't say that.
So the reason why he's having a hard time talking right now is because we're playing that variation of our drinking game where each of us has written down the special word, and if anyone says that special word, that person has to drink it. I think I've said my word a couple of times. I can't remember, but I think I have.
I think I said my word twice. I'm gonna be honest.
So we're gonna start the game eventually, as soon as someone remembers to call someone out.
Yeah. I know, because I haven't. I haven't remembered.
I'm telling you, we've had this taste. The taste in this, we've had that before.
Okay. You seem very philosophically disturbed by this cigar right now.
It's almost like he think that you bought this cigar and put a different wrapper on.
I know. He's all like, this is something else. I've had this.
I'm being sincere.
No, I really didn't change the band. That's what it is.
That's crazy.
Sorry, man. I also need to give a plug.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Go ahead.
I need to give a plug to our other sponsor, the Not Gentlemanly Cigar Smokers online magazine. Go check them out. Link will be in the description. Cool place. I will be giving a write-up on this cigar with some very cool pictures taken by my main man here. And that's going to go up sometime next week. So check them out, ngcs.com. And that's all the business I have to talk about. Now we can just get into what we're doing here. So, Howard, brother.
Yes.
What has been going on? Where should we start?
All right, let's start. First of all, let's start about when was the last time you was on stage? Let's be honest. Let's. That's where I want to start at, because I'll start from there.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure I was
trying to get
there
him back.
or
I've been
around.
trying to get him to go back up on stage for a while now. I'm like, come on, man, just go do a set.
The last time I was on stage was in May of 2013. That was actually my last show I ever did.
Wow.
I opened for Doug Stanhope, and that was
Dang, that is a
He's
long
dope
time
as shit
ago.
too. I
Dude.
love Doug, bro.
Dude, he was
an
intense.
animal.
He got me fucked up for that show.
Yes, he
I was
does.
like, I'd like to be, semi-lucid, and he was like, nah, there's no semis here.
I want you to go in.
Yeah, so he went hard. But other than that, I mean, I did little open mics downtown, and that was through law school, and then it was just like too much, having too many kids. And
Well, I just gotta tell you, you do know, funny is hard to find.
yes, I'm
People that are
aware.
sincerely funny.
I
Thank
watched
you,
a
yeah.
lot of guys go through our room at 307, and funny was hard to find.
Hard to find.
Hard to find.
So you just choosing I'm just gonna. I was like, bro, you funny. So just know there's a lane for you. I was just saying.
I know, man. I know. I mean,
Why can't you just go do sets every once in a while? You don't have to keep it like your main thing, because you have a book filled with
I know, just
its awesomeness.
But the thing is, I don't even want to use this stuff anymore. I like the stuff that we're going to say today that's unscripted. That's what I like to do on stage. I like to just get up there
So
with
why
a room
not
of people and just Because for me to put on the kind of show that I'm proud of, I have to have my chops really finely tuned. And since I haven't performed
that's why you
in
do
8
those little
years,
shows.
I'm gonna have to like just schlep it for a while.
Hey,
And-
8-year Alex is better than some of these freshly still touring comedians. I'm just being honest.
Dude, I have such a hard time like getting into comedy, especially now. I think comedy now is terrible. I try to find it, and everything is just.
Is it because things went so PC? It's like you're scared to say something.
It's the trend. There is
It
the
is.
trend in comedy, which I do not like.
Yeah.
But then there's the construction, the way they're like. Here's a joke that a guy did on television. All right,
Yeah.
on like a 3-minute Comedy Central set, meaning you don't have room for filler.
Right, absolutely.
You know, you have to have your opener and you have to have your closer, and then there's like 40 seconds for your material, you know, and so it has to be bam, bam, bam. So this was one on Comedy Central. I don't know why it's still in my head. I have a condition, and this was from years ago, and I was just like, I'm done with comedy. So I'm walking by a coffee shop with my friend, and he says, "Oh man, I want to try their open latte," and he said, "No, idiot, it says open late." That was the joke.
Jesus.
And I was just like, what, a 5-year-old right there?
If I had the. It's not
Oh
that,
my
it's
God.
more like
And I was like, this is what's getting picked up. This is what's selling. I just thought it was horrible, you know?
Well, you got to understand, like now, like this is what I've learned. If you want to know what I've been up to, I've still been doing stand-up. I've been doing a lot of advertising work that helped. I got into advertising. Like a lot of people don't know what I don't want to say 9 to 5 because people don't know that I got other talents other than doing stand-up. So I guess I'll just break it down now. I'm a graphic designer. Been a graphic designer for over 20 years. Worked for Lamar Graphics, Circle
I
Graphics.
did not know that.
Yeah, like I've won some advertising awards. And a lot of people, I do that behind the scenes. Like right now, if I told you my real job, y'all be like, that sounds boring. I couldn't see you there. I'm the graphic designer for the Office of Tourism for the state of Louisiana and the Lieutenant Governor, Billy Nungesser.
Wow. I didn't know you had such a pronounced boring side.
Well, I got to go to work and be like this here. If y'all just knew I was a superhero when I leave here. But been doing that a while. I've been didn't know that comedians can make a shit ton of money writing funny commercials. Didn't know that was a job. I thought that the commercial was just wrote and hey, it just ended up being funny. No, they literally, agencies would be like, hey, you're funny. Can you come in and punch this up for us? And they will pay you thousands of dollars to do it.
Man.
That's what I've been doing.
So I had this idea
go ahead.
this week for a dentist commercial, and I was like, man, I would so love to do this commercial because it's so off the beaten path of how these companies advertise that it would work just because of that. But it's like the whole pitch of the commercial is, hey, you can trust us that we won't fondle your boobs while you're under.
Oh man, that's perfect.
Because it's like that's so ridiculous, but it's just like, well, that's good to know.
It's good to know. Like
Thank you.
I
Thank
never
you for
thought about
spelling.
not having my boobs fondled while I was under, but thank you for saying it.
Right? Put my mind at ease before you put my mind at ease.
ease.
You know?
People
That's a
pay
good
for that. They pay thousands of dollars for
Right?
that.
So if you're watching this and you're a dentist, first off, don't fondle boobs while they're under. But secondly, hire me. I'll write your copy.
Oh,
Look at that. We got a friend.
we got a friend came in to hang
Look
out.
at that. Now you on
Dude,
the
must have
camera.
thought I was Mike Pence.
First of all, that was perfect. That was perfect timing. But other than that, writing commercials and winning Addy Awards and I still do stand up is the first love. I'm gonna never put it down.
All right, so let me pick your brain about stand up. What got you into stand up? And when was it?
What got me into stand up was this is crazy. I saw Martin Lawrence on Def Comedy Jam. When I saw that and I saw how fun that was, just the energy, I was like, I can do this.
How old were you?
Fun. I was, gotta be 14,
Okay.
15, when I said I can do this. So I was in high school. But when I went to college, I went to McNeese State in Lake Charles on a basketball scholarship. Red shirted, didn't have nothing to do my freshman year. So guess who decided just to get on stage? Just got on stage. Quit basketball the next year.
Wow. So how long did it take before you were like, I can do this?
after I got off stage.
Nice.
I did 2 hours of like a 2-hour show. I'm pretty sure it was shit. I'm pretty sure all those jokes are shit. Like, it was horrible, but they loved it at the time.
Wow. How did you get 2 hours for your first time?
I didn't even know. Like, I did an intermission and then went again. And all I did was talk about the school for 2
Dude,
hours.
that's so amazing. You should take a drink for saying something. First time. I remembered. I remembered.
Actually, you need to take a drink as well.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's gonna be a silent killer. Right
I know. John's just like, I'm just enjoying. I'm just trying to figure out where I had the cigar.
I see you not saying a lot.
Because last time I was drunk because I said too much. So I'm like looking at both you guys trying to see if I'm gonna say the word that either one of you guys.
Oh, live a little.
Just a little bit, man.
I do have questions though.
Yeah.
Since you said you're in advertising and people write up, because I've been seeing a lot of commercials that are actually geared more to the funny side.
Yeah.
Like that new Tostitos commercial
Yes.
where they're on the couch or whatever. What's his name? I think they wrote that up and they're like, this is going to be funny. And it really wasn't funny.
No. Sometimes it's dead. Sometimes like and just think they spent millions of dollars to shoot that and it still didn't come over right.
And that guy's like a full-fledged comedian. Like
Yeah.
he's like touring. He's got his own like everything. He's got like he's on Instagram. What's that other thing?
Facebook, TikTok. He got
TikTok.
TikTok.
Thank you. He's got a TikTok. He's all over.
I'm not gonna
and-
get a TikTok. I'm just never gonna get that. That's just not me.
But
No.
everyone's gonna.
My
TikTok
5-year-old
that
does
are
TikTok.
comedians.
And that's the stuff.
She tells me stuff and she's like, she'll say a word. I'm like, where'd you learn that word? TikTok. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my God, it's like an encyclopedia.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the cigar, guys? We're like almost finished our first third. I'm loving it. I really do like it.
I'm not gonna lie. This is I thought that since it was more than a mile that I'd probably be taken back a little bit more. This actually is smooth.
It's very smooth.
You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know if I'm having like a deja vu moment, but I'm telling you, I've had this cigar. I haven't had this cigar, but I've had the same taste, the same finish. It's honey. Your finish is your honey.
No, I mean, it's. I get the honey note. It's very smooth.
No, I mean like at the end. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the point.
and smoking it with this it helps.
All right, so your first year in college is when you
First year in college when I first got on stage.
All right, and
That was 01.
that was 01. Okay, all right. See, I started in 03, and I had this childish fantasy. Like ever since I was a little kid, and I had seen Dave Coulier on Nickelodeon. I was like,
I opened for Dave Coulier
what?
at the Funny Bone.
Did you tell him to cut it out?
He did that on stage, and I was like, yeah, so that still works, huh? No. That's what I'm about to say.
You've
Like,
had
so
40
it's-
years to write another
I
one,
was like,
man.
so you still using that same bit?
Dude,
Okay.
he messed up Alanis Morissette. Dude.
Really?
Do you guys know the story? behind
No.
that? Oh,
Enlighten me.
No.
So, I'm a musical guy. So,
Okay.
I pick up on all the, musical, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he started seeing her on the side, screwed her up so much. Like all those songs about going down in a movie theater, that's all about him.
Oh,
What?
Like he twisted her mind where he was like, hey, we're having all this fun. And then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, deuces, I'm out. And she's like, what in the F? And she's like, hold on. Like, why don't you want to be with him? He's like, I'm good.
He's like, I heard your album.
Took off and mind mugged her. And she threw out an album and it went to #1 because of him. Same thing like with Adele. Some dude just came to
I
her
remember-
life.
yeah.
Like
And
he
fucked over
fucked
totally.
her mind up. And she's on 25 albums now from it, just from that one guy. Lance Morissette, same thing.
Man,
But
I had
it was him.
a really bad breakup in college, and I was just like, I hate her so much, and I just became really good at pool.
that's it.
That's what I
That
did.
was your response to it.
What? I was like, I'm gonna show you while I make this combo.
Alanis Morissette. This is wild. Dave Coulier, like Full House,
The cut
is
out.
is the reason. Look at
Why
him doing
Alanis-
God's work.
Oh my God.
is the reason why she put out those albums. Yeah. Fucked her up.
This is new information for me. You're gonna make me go back and listen. Cause now I have a context of who she's talking about, and now I gotta visualize.
I'm no longer pretending it was me.
That's what you was doing.
Yeah, I hooked that up.
Well, you know.
You
Hey,
said, yeah, I
the
cut
90s
that out.
The 90s were That's disgusting. This is gonna call a rebuke from John's mother. That's disgusting.
Disgusting. You got to know my mother. She talks like this. She was a rockette at one time, so she was really tall and beautiful. Then she got into those long, nasty cigarettes.
Oh, she started
Yeah.
smoking
He likes telling
cigarettes.
people how
Oh,
hot his
God.
mom is. Like, my mom's beautiful.
She, past tense. She was.
She was beautiful. Now she ugly as shit.
You're like, now she talks
Now
like
she's
this.
like this. Oh my god! And my brother, I sent him. I was going again. My kids. They are on that TikTok. So and my daughter goes, hey, Nana's on TikTok, and like, swear to God, it's not her, but it looks like her. It sounds like her.
Oh,
If
wow.
I show you the video, you'll probably end up pissing yourself laughing. But that is exactly what my mom is. Like, she's just
So let me ask you, Howard.
Yeah.
What is the show that stands out to you as like the most memorable, the wildest story that like I'm never gonna forget this one?
That's happened to me at a show.
Yeah. Yeah, a show story.
I was 3 years in. I had a show booked in Natchez, Mississippi. A friend of mine, actually my mentor, his name Mister. He stopped doing stand-up.
I know Mister.
You know Mister. Still my dog, Bill.
Mister.
He booked me on the show. We rode up there, and he was like, "You gonna like?" We didn't know what the lineup was when we got there. The lineup was like, "All right, it's gonna be 2 guys, and then it was gonna be me, and then it was gonna be Mister." I was like, "All right, cool." So we get there kind of late. We already knew it was gonna start late. It's a real hood show, very small spot, but people on top of people. So we was like, okay, this should be good. We in and out. We already got paid, so let's just go in, handle our business, and just leave. Now, when I say we already got paid, don't think we getting paid. We getting like $50. Like,
Oh, okay.
So don't think like paid. Nah, we just made gas money. So we're watching the show, and I'm about to go up. The guy in front of me is literally on stage, and as soon as he gets off, a fight breaks out. Full on fisticuffs right in front of the stage. Lasts about 20 seconds and heads out the door. So the door, if I had to explain the club, if you walk through the front door of the club, to your right, that's the stage. Like literally.
Okay.
As soon as you come in to pay your ticket, if you did this, you're going to see me on stage. So the fight is there. Soon after the fight, all right, our next comedian, y'all give it up for Howard Hall. This is right after the fight. No host didn't even say, hey, calm down, let's get it up and try to do jokes. No, as soon as the fight was over, everybody cleared, they sat down. Up next, Howard Hall. Walk up, I'm like, so, and that was like a hard 5. I was supposed to do 15. I did a hard 5, and all I did was talk about why y'all didn't tell me that this is the type of shit that goes on in Mississippi. Like my whole set was about, I just need to get out of here. And they love it. They ate it up. But I was so serious. I was like,
That's
shit is not
when
right.
it's the best. Because like, no, actually, I'm being serious, but it's funny because it's ridiculous.
Now, here's the scary part about it. I get off stage. I already know the promoter's pissed because I didn't do my time. I just got it. I was like, what the fuck you want me to do? Just had a fucking UFC fight in front of me, right? So I said, like, so Mister goes up. While he's up, the 2 dudes that fought snuck back in. And they're in the back of the club, and they about to fight again. And I'm up here trying to tell Mister, yo, wrap it up, because this shit is about to pop off. And he's mid-set. He does not hear me. I'm literally, I'm like, yo, wrap it up. It's getting loud.
So what was the crowd like?
Crowd was
Like Duck Dynasty?
worse.
Duck Dynasty.
Worse. It was a mix. It was like,
All you can do is say the city. What city were you in?
oh, shit, Natchez.
Oh,
Natchez, Mississippi, right? What's the bridge? That's
lovely
Adelia?
town though. Lovely town, Natchez. Way to go.
It is a lovely drive-through. Go to the casino, maybe. That's about it.
If you dare.
I also had a same shit show. I had one at a fire station in Natchez, Mississippi with Red Bean.
Jesus. Well, while we're drinking, give me 6, young man.
Shit. For $50. I mean, that's a love.
Dude, I remember doing gigs for Gas Money, and that was like you were happy about it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh my God, I'm actually breaking even. I'm doing all this work to make nothing.
And drive
But
back.
that's what it was like. You know, the show that, like, to me, I'll never forget. It was in Minneapolis at the Acme Comedy Club.
What happened, man?
And it was a very big lineup. It was like 25 comics.
Holy shit!
And I was towards the end, and I had 3 minutes, and that was like, get up there and do it. And I'm watching this.
That's
room.
not even fun.
Oh my goodness! It's like no warm up, just straight to rip a hammy, you know. So I'm watching the crowd, and I'm like, what am I going to say? I didn't have anything prepared because for that small of a set, I want to just vibe off the room, and I can play off of that for 3 minutes, and then that'll be fun. So I just look at everybody, and I'm just like, everyone looks like they finished high school here. Which is decidedly not Lafayette.
Yeah.
You know, like in Opelousas, I'm just going to leave it at that. No.
Okay, yeah.
No.
Yeah, I saw
No.
what you did there.
So I get on stage, and the whole thing is, I'm from Louisiana, and this city is wild because you have like culture, technology, manners, teeth, you know, like all the stuff that made fun of the South, and they just loved it. And I was like, I went to the bathroom, and like I went to turn the water on, and there was no knob, and I was confused because like back home we have knobs, and so I just moved my hand and it started going. And I was like, whoa, how'd this work? And then I went to the dispenser, and there was no wind up for the dispenser, and I was like, what do I do? But then it just came out, and I was like, oh my God, it's a force field, it's magic, and they thought it was crazy. And then they came up to me afterwards. Like, there were some awesome people. There was this guy who went on stage and told the story about how his mother is so Minnesota nice that if people were to break into his house and shoot her dead, that while she was dying, she would get them something to snack on.
Jesus. Wow.
You know? And they'd be...
Don't worry.
And she'd be like, don't worry about me.
Don't worry about
I'm fine. It's just blood. It'll come out with some seltzer. And so I'm watching this, like, man, there are some amazing comics here. And then after the show, they found me out to be like, dude, you are our favorite. Why? Because I just made fun of Cajuns mercilessly, and they were like, I don't know who those people are, but yeah.
Technically.
You know? And I was like, wow. So that was one that just like, that was a whole lot of fun. And I was scared to death because I was as far away from my home turf.
Oh,
you know?
man. But that's when I feel freer, when I'm not at home. Like, I say whatever. Like, I can go on stage with an idea when I'm out of town, instead of actually having a premise or actual joke set up.
That's true. One of the things I loved about having my home crowd was that because they knew me so well, I didn't have to spend a whole lot of time getting them to know me. So I could just jump right into it. And a lot of times my material was just so bizarre off the top that if you didn't know me, you'd be like,
what the fuck is about to
what's
happen?
wrong with this guy? You know, like, why is he saying this stuff? And,
you did that at 307 a couple times.
Oh my God. That was my thing. And I was trying to find the persona that worked best for me. And so I'd actually reinvent myself several times. But all right, this one I'm going to be more like Mitch Hedberg or like Stephen Wright, where I'm really, really like passive and my delivery is just really deadpan.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden this absurdist punchline comes out and it's like, what?
Yes.
You know, I'd say like, I bought the new French Revolution home game. The object of the game is not to win, but to get ahead.
So, see, that joke would go over so many people's heads. It's almost like you need a level of intelligence to get it.
That's why I wrote them, because
and that was his shtick.
The joke was funny for two reasons. One was the punchline, and two, you got to laugh at everybody who didn't
know it,
because it was either you laughed or you didn't get it, and so I would turn the crowd against each other, and so I would start laughing at the people who didn't get it, and then for a lot of jokes, I would tell the joke, and then I would just stop. And you could hear the room erupt in a wave. It was like a Doppler effect because as they thought about it, they were like, oh, okay, that is funny. So I like jokes like that.
Like a Doppler.
And then I like jokes where like you'd laugh at it and then you'd feel really guilty.
Oh
laughing
yeah.
At it. They were like, that was a horrible. Like, well, you laughed at it, so you can't judge me.
No,
you know,
you just as evil.
It's like we're just going to hell
But isn't
together.
that why people go to comedy clubs to hear those things? They're gonna be like, okay.
Apparently not today.
We laugh. We could, yeah, but today, I mean,
that's because they gave the crowd power. That's what happened. You when you give the audience power, you take the, I should say you take not the excitement, but like the experiment that a comedian would do on stage. Mm-hmm. Like we would tightrope it all day, but now shoot, you got to actually have a parachute now, because if you say something on stage and somebody like tapes it and then goes on and make a post, now you the worst enemy in the world. But like, did you tape the first part of the joke that made this part make sense, or did you just have a comment on the punchline?
Like, do you remember the Daniel Tosh rape incident?
Yes.
I that bothered me so much.
Whoa.
Basically, he got heckled during his show, and because he told a joke that was about rape, and thinking about Tosh is like that's par for his course.
Right.
He's a shock comic.
Yes.
And so he'll go in and he'll push it. And so he says this joke. He knows it's excessive. He knows it's extreme. That's not the point. But a woman, probably a feminist, is just like, wait a minute, people are laughing. I have to put an end to this. And so she's like, rape jokes are never funny. And she just does that whole thing. And so he just fires back at her.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, sometimes we think rape is funny. Like if people were just to rape you right now, that'd be funny. And it was something, it was like really mean, really punchy. But it was
hard.
But it's like, have you ever seen a comic get heckled? Like since
they go
when?
back at you hard.
I mean, maybe Canadian comics are different. Maybe they're all like, I'm gonna write a firmly worded letter to you in the morning.
Just wait till this blog post hits.
Like, oh my goodness! But any real comic, they will tear you limb for limb.
Yes.
I got heckled one time at 307, because I was trying a new shtick.
Right.
And the shtick was that I was going to be so overly full of myself in an exaggerated way, kind of like a Larry David sketch.
Oh.
But it required a certain amount of sophistication from the audience to get it, and they didn't know me yet. And so they were just like, this guy's full of himself. And they didn't get that was the whole point. So they started like getting dissatisfied with the jokes, and one guy actually said something. I didn't really catch it, but I could tell, like, okay, the crowd's turning on me here. So I was like, hey, buddy, there's another word for an asshole that talks. It's a fart. Shut the fuck up.
That's so fucking good. It's so fast that he probably had to think about, like, he just called me. Yes, he did. He just called me a fucking fart.
Fucking fart.
So, like, that was it, though. And the crowd was just like, after that, but it worked. But the point is that they're not nice.
No.
You don't say nice things. And so, like, you go after low-hanging fruit.
Right.
Michael Richards got in the same trouble. He got heckled by some black dudes, and he just went off on an N-word.
And he shouldn't have.
And it's like, dude, obviously, that's below the belt, but you're responding to a heckle, and so it's almost like that's where you look.
Yeah.
You don't look for the, like, Hallmark card written insults.
You go for the juggler.
Whatever will, like, make them the most, that's what you do. And so, and what comedy now? So what I started doing, I started watching old Patrice O'Neill clips.
Beautiful.
Because he's like...
He's in my top 3.
He's like a guy that if he were alive today, he'd be like, oh, God, I need to die.
Yeah.
I need to die, like, right now, because I can't handle any of this
shit.
nonsense.
Under this soft shit. He literally, he would probably be canceled. He'd be canceled more. He probably been canceled more in the last 2 years than ever.
Dude, he'd have probably called to be like, I'm canceling myself. I'm not even going to go in.
I watched Patrice O'Neill because he showed, I like watching comics that kind of make stand-up look like they just having a conversation.
Yes.
Like, you can't tell where the jokes are coming from.
He'll do the whole hour and be like, did he even get into his material?
Did he get to material?
He didn't do anything.
Like,
but what I love about Patrice O'Neill is he will take the areas that people are uncomfortable, and he'll just be like just give the whole group a nurple and just be like, I'm just doing this because I know it's making you uncomfortable. But that's what comics need to do. People need to be made uncomfortable. They need to laugh at things that they didn't think they should laugh at. I mean, I would write so many jokes. Like, I would say, hey, being positive isn't always good. Just ask an AIDS patient.
That's a good joke.
And the whole point is, like, I'm not making light of AIDS.
No.
I was a teacher's assistant. I had a lot of those. But no. But the point was just that we want to find the funny in dark places, and so we just want to throw that stuff out there. And now, man,
well, people think there's no funny in dark places. Well, there's a lot of funny.
But that's where all the
funny is. Absolutely.
That's why, like, I had
because
2
if
books.
You laugh about it,
I had 2 books growing up. One was my journal where I wrote how I wanted to kill myself, and the other one was where I wrote my jokes.
Which one?
And they were both black.
Look, which one you brought on stage?
And sometimes I'd grab the wrong one, and it'd be like, everybody's crying.
Oh,
no, wrong book.
Wrong book.
I need to shine my own light here. There you go.
Did you have problems writing material? Like, as in, like, all right, I have an issue. I write material too fast. Like, I get done with the material fast. Mm-hmm. As in, like, I get tired of doing this joke.
Right.
And I want to move on to something else. Not saying that the joke is done. Just saying I'm tired of performing it. So I move on. Even though the joke might not be finished, or I can still use it.
Right.
But I was wondering, what can I use that for? And that's why advertising helped. I can just get short jokes out, right? And then it satisfies that part. Because I used to just put whole bits down and not touch them anymore. Mm-hmm. And I can still be using them to this day. But I think that's my ADHD. Like,
I don't know if I would say it's ADHD. I had a very similar experience with my material because I would go through phases of my life where this joke was special to me and I loved performing it. But then when that door would close, I would lose that attraction, that association with the joke, and I just wouldn't be excited about doing it anymore.
You know what? You say that because if you're not living that life anymore, you can't even perform it to the level where it's believable anymore.
That's right. So, okay, back to the cigar, guys. What are y'all getting? This is really nice. This is really nice.
I'm gonna be honest. It's really hard. It's a really hard pull. Like when you're trying to get all those flavor notes in there, I mean, you gotta like suck on this thing.
Well, I was waiting on you to say something.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it.
I've been there.
I had to say it.
I've had to say that for
Get this
it.
thing to
If you
come.
want to get the flavor, you gotta really suck.
You gotta really suck it.
You really got to pull, right?
You gotta pull on it to get.
Did
it
I
to
not
come.
warn you, Howard, what was going to be flying across this table?
I was waiting on him to say suck. I was like, there's no more adjectives he can use. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I can't even text what I was about to say.
Oh, God.
It's hard. That's what she said. You know what I mean? Like it's like I'm trying to get it to come and it won't. Like get the fucking flavor out of this thing, man.
You would cut his mic. Just shut up.
So much work. Just so
Stop.
much.
He's like, the only thing I know I could comfortably say without using their words is just to say a bunch of gay stuff.
Basically,
Like, all right, man.
you staying in the pocket right now.
You are high and tight.
Oh, my. Very smart. Hasn't taken a sip yet.
No.
Because he hasn't said anything. He's just been listening to stories.
Hey, I'd rather listen to the stories than
This
be
was
drunk.
this was just like the last time we did this gimmick. He just after the first 20 minutes, he just became like.
I'm in my head. I'm like, do I say that? No, don't say that.
All right, well, I'm going to keep moving on with the show then, so
Yes,
so you can
please
just
go.
go and
Yeah, and
get
but
it
I mean,
started.
like-
Hey, you try to make it come and then let us know. All right. So Howard, if you were going to choose one comic, alive or dead, to like have a session with where you just cut up, like the way you would back in the day in the green room before we'd go on stage and we'd basically be just looking like how much juice can we generate up and just going back and forth, looking at the audience, riffing. Who, if you could pick anybody, who'd you want to go do that with?
Ooh. Alive or dead? Does it have to be one?
Well, I mean,
Come on. There's
Ideally.
only one person. If I was a comedian or if I could do what you guys can do, there's only one person I would want to be.
Who's that?
Bill Cosby because he gets him the drugs.
No. Come on.
Quaaludes.
Richard Pryor. How could you never not want to be with or just around that guy?
That's true.
Well, he was a little before
He's
my
the
time.
only person I know that literally told Hollywood, go fuck yourself. Oh, you're not going to listen to me? Here, I'll just fucking burn my whole body.
He sure did. He did set
Fuck
himself on
you.
fire.
That's what he would say. He
That-
said, you think I'm a good looking guy and I'm your guy?
John, we have kids who watch this show. They smoke cigars, but they don't like all
Well,
that.
they smoke cigars. And they're not good children.
They're not good children. But I'm just saying, like, dude, he was the only person I know that was a comedian who told Hollywood to go after themselves.
Okay, all right. But I don't know if you recall, but I asked Howard, not you. So
Sorry.
That's
Sorry,
hysterical.
buddy.
To me, only because I know their personalities, and you said cut up before the show, so it would have to be Jamie Foxx.
Oh,
Have to be Jamie Foxx, and this is gonna be wild. And this is only because I've hung out with them after the show. Cat Williams.
Cat Williams.
Ooh, I like Cat Williams too.
Wow. All right. So go explain your selections.
Jamie Foxx he was the first one to let me know that you can just be, you don't have to just stand up and tell jokes. You can act crazy. You can do sound effects. He was the first one that kind of incorporated all that, and then he's just a fun guy. I've been around him. He's a fun dude to be around.
I love watching his guest appearances on shows where he just cuts up and does his
Oh, man.
impressions of
And he
people.
tells great stories.
Oh yeah.
His J-Lo, oh my God.
Oh.
When he said, he goes, I remember J-Lo was just, hey, ho. That was the best one. I was like, dude, he's slaying
My
her.
favorite Jamie Foxx story is a story where he talks about the time he had to do a Mike Tyson impression to Mike Tyson in
was
the
in there?
audience. And he
I
saw
heard
him
Eddie
there.
Murphy did that on stage
I
in
heard
front of
you
him
yelled.
when he was like, he goes, read the next line, Mike. No, you're not doing it as Mike. He was like, what do you mean I'm not doing it as Mike? I'm Mike Tyson. He's like, he goes, no, you gotta be like this. And Mike grabbed him. You
gotta be like this.
Yeah.
No. He's scared.
It was
Weird.
awesome.
I hear your jokes. I hear you joking.
He's funny, and I like.
But no, what was the other one that Jamie Foxx did that he was just like, when he talked about LL Cool J kept licking his lips.
the fight that happened on
my
set.
God, yeah. On Any Given Sunday
Any
or something like
Given
that.
Sunday,
Oh
bro.
my God, that was another choice one. Where he's like, why you got to keep licking your lips?
He said, man, this fight is in the script. He said, is he trying to win an Academy Award? Because he has me fooled. And then he hauled off and hit him. I remember that. Like, he talks about that. So Jamie is cool. Cat Williams is like one of the most giving comedians ever. Like, I was only supposed to make, I think, $600 to open for him in New Orleans at an arena, right? I think the touring company booked me. And like, he was like, yo, just come in here. And he was like, what? And he handed me $2,000. And he was like, go out there and have fun.
Wow.
Dude, see, Cat is another dude. I would hang out with that guy.
And the reason he said he does that, because I was like, bro, why you do that? And he was like, because I was where you was at. And I remember I was in rooms opening for people bigger than me, and I'm only making $200-$300, and they making $15,000 to $20,000. And they just rule off. I know where you at. So go out, like, and I know the stress of like, oh man, I'm only making $6, but this is a great opportunity. He's like, no, you feel comfortable when you paid what you worth. So here, go have fun. I was like, let me go rock out.
That's
and
awesome.
We rocked out that night. That was fun as hell.
That is awesome.
Did you get his like number and stuff like that? So he could probably like, you know.
His social media though.
Oh, okay.
That's like having somebody's number now.
Okay.
It's like they answer your social media. That's like, well, shit. It's like a text message.
That's when you send them the little clip in Step Brothers. Did we just become best friends? And you're just hoping they're like,
Yeah. Like, and I know a lot of like touring comedians. I know them like personally, but I never like boast that I know them. I never throw out that I know them, because I was like, look, I know I'm gonna need help at one point, and I'm gonna ask for that favor, and I don't want that favor just to be like a shout out or or a hook up to a show.
I liked your post.
They're like, I don't want that. No, like I might be on the road and I'm like, look, man, I'm stuck in between here and here. There's an improv there, and it looked like you on. Let me feature for you for the weekend while I'm here so I can get to my next spot. And they be like, yeah, that's the type of hookup I want.
Do you think this tastes like the leaf Sumatra? Is that what's messing with you so much?
It's the honey. It's that honey.
This middle is intense. It's
Dude.
amazing.
It's already got, yeah. I'm right now, like I'm holding it more than I'm. But it's very strong.
I like
I wouldn't say that.
I like it's deceptive, right? It doesn't look like it would be
deceptive.
like this, but then it's actually, hitting you in the kidneys, and you're like, "Ooh, this is a lot." Well, I think if I had to give my answer to that question, I have a thing with Mitch Hedberg. I would just love to see what that would be like, hanging out with him.
I watched him once live
What? Man.
at McNeese State.
Like, he had such a big influence on how I even approached writing comedy, because...
But what if you went up to him and you're like, man, I got to hang out with this guy. He's like a hero. Because this has happened to me in music. And then you're like, you get to know them. You're like, I fucking hate this guy.
Oh, he's a dick? I
Like,
hate
he's
that
a-
part.
He's a dick, and,
Well, I
and
mean-
he's too full of himself.
Obviously, we can't know if that would be the case, but we're just fantasizing, man. It's all right.
Right now, we imagination.
It's like
Just saying.
I used to have fantasies where like I'd meet the girl of my dreams and she'd turn me down. Like, that was, I get it. But
That's not what I mean. It's like you're so in tune with their comedy. You're like, I can understand where he's coming from and why he wrote that joke. Like, I'm the same way with music. I'm like, dude, I know why he
get why
wrote
you
that.
did that.
I understand why he wrote that song.
Right.
And there was no other producers on it, just that guy, because he was like, no, this is I created, this is my baby, and I want to put it this way. I don't want to make it that way. And then you see someone write a joke because it's their crafts, you know what I mean? And they're making their art, and you're like, I get where you were. I know where your headspace was to that. And then you meet them, and they're not that, because they could just jump and do an alter ego and jump into a person. You're just like,
Yeah.
you piece of crap. Like,
You're
dude,
an actor.
You're an actor.
Yeah.
So I want to take a moment to. I've never really got to tell Howard, what I thought. I made sure back in 2006 when I did the UL show that there was only one person I was going to let do it with me, and that was Howard.
I remember that, yeah.
And it was because you had proven yourself that you could handle a room, and you weren't going to be patronizing your material. And it was going to be lively, and it was going to put me on the spot because like I work best under pressure, and I knew that the way to maximize the pressure that I would have coming on stage is if I just followed Howard. And so I was like, that's what I want. And what I wanted to say was, I watched a lot of your sets, and the thing that I liked most about it was that number one, it was conversational. It wasn't broken up into bits. Like you can tell when a lot of the stuff that I would do, like you just wrote that. You wrote that out because like it's not something that would just come up in conversation. But you'd be surprised. I'm weird. But so it was conversational, but at the same time, it was almost like a mundane story, but it was hilarious. Yeah. It was like you were able to take just any average
Regular
incident
story
and find the funny in it. You know, like he told us a story about going to the movies with his woman.
I remember.
And it's just about how expensive the movies was. And
Everyone
if
can
you look
relate
at
to.
every word he said, it was just like, yeah, obviously, because it's expensive. But the way he said it made it hilarious.
That's it.
And I was like,
shit.
that to me belies the kind of talent that you don't see, because most people are working so hard to write funny material that it's overly contrived and it's just like, it's not good.
You don't have to be
But
like all nerdy or all like the most creative joke ever. Could you just make them laugh? It's some
But
simple
have you
shit.
been around him for more than like 15 minutes? Because it's like walking around with a thesaurus.
It
like
is.
I swear to God,
He has a storage of knowledge that
I literally take every conversation we have. I'm like, damn, that shit was on the SATs.
like profound.
You take your shit back. Like I'm like, dude, every day I'm like, man, the word for today is. You know what I mean?
In the middle, I'm like, hey man, I'm gonna ask you what the definition of that word you just used, but not right now. You continue.
You got a highlighter.
You're like,
I have a group chat on Facebook with a bunch of my close friends, and every now and then I'll say something, and they'll be like, just a message, yo, what does that mean? Are the commenters just, you gonna make me Google that?
so what does that mean?
Oh, I do it. I run home and I'm like,
I'm sorry. But out of all those bits, what is your baby? What is the bit that to you is the most special? That's like it's your favorite bit?
Man, geez, that's tough. That is tough because I like.
and would you ever give it away if someone said, hey, we want to put it in a commercial?
Ooh, yes, I would because they'll pay for it. They'll pay for it. Like you pay for it, I give it to you. But one of my favorite bits, like.
Ooh, that's crazy. I don't know if I could do that.
I could do that because I know I can write another one. That's the only reason I know. Like I can.
But
I know
he's saying your favorite.
I can write
bit.
another favorite.
That's
like
right.
I got a favorite now that I have a favorite now that I do, but it wasn't my favorite before I had it. So like now I watch a lot of Seinfeld nowadays, only because I like his approach to making anything funny. He could take this and he'll just write everything funny about it.
Yeah.
He'll write it down on a yellow sheet of paper, everything funny about it. And like I saw him do that to Pop-Tarts. And then I went and saw him live in Baton Rouge and I saw the joke and I was like, damn, he got that from just looking at Pop-Tarts. And I was like, shit. Like I think the funniest part of that bit, he was like, he said, I think when they wrote the directions for Pop-Tarts, they didn't really think it through because they said insert it vertically. And I said, oh shit, it's a rectangle. That's fucking brilliant. I never thought, like, what's vertical? Is it because how you take it out the package? And he was like, have you noticed that Pop-Tarts can never be, he's like, they're never fresh because they never were. They were never fresh. They were always stale. And I was like, oh man, that is so brilliant. So now I take small shit and I try to get as much funny out of one thing. So I made a bit about what is the minimum amount of mayonnaise that goes on a Subway sandwich. Like, what's the training manual telling y'all what goes on a sandwich at Subway? Because I see that they go down and back, and I was like, is that what they training you to do? Because that is a pound of mayonnaise. Nobody puts that on their sandwich. So the whole joke was about that, but I made it a 5-minute bit about going to Subway. So that's what I do. Like I only had one joke about mayonnaise, and it's actually not about mayonnaise. It's actually about the unit of measurement that I use about mayonnaise, which is not a lot of.
But what makes that joke
Not a
so
lot.
great is that anybody who's ever gone to a little fast food joint where you can watch them make your sandwich has that same question. Why does mayonnaise get a spatula? You know, every other condiment has this little discreet dispensary. You got a goddamn shovel.
Yes.
Put mayo on it, and so it's like that. I'm always just like, and then if you're real enough, you say, hey, easy mayo, and they're like, oh, then let me get out the smaller spatula.
spatula.
You know?
I'm like, come on, bro.
We need a meeting of the minds here. So like when you say that, it taps into something everybody has thought, and that's why it's good.
My favorite joke now, my favorite one is I wrote it. This is crazy because we've been saying it because we're from the South and we know what this is. And when I say it, like people are like, yo, I never thought about this. And I wrote it down. I was like, and I searched the internet, like nobody has made this joke. And I was like, it's one thing that people in the South use every day, but you can't buy it in stores. And it's called cover. And you just like, you can find cover. No, cover is not bought. Cover is created. You buy a blanket, you buy a quilt, it turns into cover. Because when you go to a friend's house, you're like, you don't ask for a blanket. Hey, you got some cover? Yeah. So you get the cover. And it's different. It feels different. It covers you perfectly. But you can't buy it in stores. If you go to a store and say, hey, where y'all covers at? We don't carry covers. Covers are created. You got to keep it long enough till it turns into a cover.
And then if you ever like share a bed with a woman, well, because like, give me some covers.
Yes. You never asked for a blanket or a quilt because I was like a quilt. I've seen quilts, but I really don't own one. I have blankets. Blankets are used for like laying on couches with your feet up, and I don't normally do that. So I need a cover. And where is cover? Actually, cover is in 3-star hotels. You got to stay at the Courtyard Marriott. And if you notice that second cover, like it's a sheet, and then it's like the cover sheet, and then it's got this thick cover, that's cover. Steal that. That's yours. Take it home.
That's interesting.
Did not know.
It's perfect. If you notice, you can wear cover anywhere, even when you're hot or cold. It just makes you feel good. You wear it like a Sith Lord when you walk into your house. You can't tell me you don't put the cover over your head and over your shoulders and just walk through. Doom, doom, doom,
So
doom,
we bought new covers for our kids. They're called comfies.
Yes.
It's like a Snuggie, but it's a poncho, not a robe. It's a long poncho that's like plush and heavily. So we got them for all of our kids. I got 4 kids. I want to get into that too. Talk about children, because like that's why my hair is covered by this hat because it's all gray.
Oh wow.
So we bought these comfies for our kids. When my little ones have a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, when she puts it on, she looks like a dink dink from Spaceballs.
I remember the ding ding.
It's like, who remembers Dink Dinks?
And so she puts it on. I'm like, "What's up, dink dink?" And she's like, "Why you calling me
Why
dink?"
you
It's like,
call me-
"Because while you wear that, you're a dink dink now." And so
The Schwartz, man.
see that?
Schwartz.
I just start singing dink dink, dink dink dink
Dink,
dink.
dink.
That is bruh.
And now everybody at home was wanting to sing that song. That's right.
And now they're going to watch
'Cause
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs is one of the last great
We
comedies.
just aged the shit out of ourselves too. Because we know the movie like by heart.
Did John Candy ever do like real stand up?
Yeah, he did, I believe.
I think you do.
I don't think we have video of it, but I know he was a stand-up comic.
Because I mean, we all know him from films
Movies.
and Saturday Night Live and stuff like that. But
Dan Aykroyd too.
That's right.
yeah, he was wilding. He was one of the wild and crazy guys.
So how many kids you got, Howard?
4.
4 kids. Oh man, with the 4 Dad Club.
4.
Do we have the matching vasectomy scar?
No, I don't.
Oh, that's a pro gamer fail
Yeah,
right
because
there.
wifey got hers clipped.
Oh, that's nice. All right, I'll drink to that.
Yeah.
So how old are your kids?
Oh man, let's go. Oldest is 26, and then we have a 20-year-old. Should be 21 in October.
Whoa,
Then we got-
whoa! Slow down. Did
Yeah.
you just say you have a 26-year-old?
26-year-old.
You look like you're 26.
Hey,
What
and
in
I
the hell
got 3
just
grandkids
happened?
and a 4th one on the way too. Yeah, let me get some more bourbon.
Are you?
Sorry
I
about
swear to God, you look like you're 26.
that. Hey, 4 kids. Oldest is 26, 21.
And there's like no gray hair in there at all.
No.
I'm like the Fighting Irish over here, so like, I'm the old
Wow.
Fighting Irish guy, the guy they replaced. They're like, yeah, get that guy out of here.
No, man, like 17-year-old. That's my youngest son. He just won state 5A basketball. And
Nice.
I remember you telling me that's awesome. He won.
He won and won an award, which is crazy.
So how do you find the role of father and comedian work together at home?
Easy. First of all, it's like it's gonna be material for you for at least 5 years. Like the being like the father material, you're gonna work those jokes out for about 5 years. Every comedian that becomes a father starts doing father jokes, and they don't come out of it for a couple of years. So that's what's gonna happen. That's what helped me with like, so I could just be I could be a father and like be there, and like all of a sudden I'm just taking them like, all right, that was funny. That just happened to me. All right, that was funny. Like just writing down the nuances of being a father and learning to be a father while fucking it up. That's where the jokes came from. So that's what kind of helped me throughout that. So I used them as material as I was growing to be a better father.
That's awesome. didn't have kids until my comedy career was almost over, because by the time I started law school, that was when our second son was born, and that put a real damper on how often I could perform. So it was kind of the downhill slope right there. But being a dad, man, I'm thinking this would be gold stuff on stage. Like the stories there. So I got 4 kids. My oldest is 14, youngest is 5, and I have a son with autism, and he's got the exact same kind of autism I have, and it's the most surreal thing being his dad, because he's like a little junior me, and I get to see how annoying I was. And I'm like, oh my God.
Do you call your parents and be like, I'm sorry?
I'm just like, I would have beat me so much more than they did. So I'm like, I was so impossible.
Who calls for abuse on themselves?
Oh my God. So I had an argument with my son where I was like, hey, did you spill the pancake syrup? And he's like, and he gives you this face that was like, what are you talking about? Like genuine dumbfoundment, like you need to apologize to me for even thinking that.
I don't even know what the fuck
But it was so
syrup is.
sincere. It wasn't like I have another son where, like, if he does anything and you're like, hey, Calvin, hi, and he's like, oh my God, I just peed myself. Like he's so like, I'm busted. His guilty face is like
Done.
the bat
He wears it
signal
on his face, yeah.
You got it. Well, anyway, Connor's like, no, he's like Dahmer. It's just, it's so different. So he gets me looking at him like, Connor, the pancake syrup, I know you spilled it. And he's like, he makes it, I'm wounded. How would you even think to ask him that? And so I start thinking, like, maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it was someone else, even though we're the only 2 here, and I know it wasn't me. But I start doubting my reality because he's that convincing.
Damn.
And so I'm like,
My brother does.
I'm like, okay, what happened? And he's like, no, it was the waffle syrup. Because the picture had waffles on it instead of pancakes. And so as long as I called it pancake syrup, he was like, what are you talking about?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I found the loophole.
And I wanted to murder him because I was like, you knew what I was talking about. But he, in his mind, because he's Asperger, like, no, it was like, no, you called it the wrong thing. So my brain is like, we're looking for that reservation under waffle. There is none here. We don't know what that is.
Your son's a future lawyer.
Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy. But
That's
then,
a loophole right there.
Yeah, he found the loophole.
Wow.
But then he's like 12, and then I'll come downstairs one morning, and he'll be making breakfast, and he's like, Dad. He'll do this, and I'm almost like, oh, he's giving me like, good morning, Dad, And so like, I'm getting it ready, and he's like, good job on Mom last night. And I'm like, whoa! I pull it back so fast.
No, son. We don't talk about that.
You do
I
not
was
fist
like,
bump me about your mom.
It is against the code, son. I cannot fist bump you for banging your mom.
Even though you're here because I did that.
Right? So
He's like, I was making you a fresh meal, though.
and he's like, I was just trying to give you a compliment. I was
Well,
like,
thank
this
you.
is one of those topics we're not allowed to discuss. I didn't make the rules, but it's
You
one of
realize
is
you
the
came
rule.
from your mom. This ain't happening, son. Oh, man, that is.
I didn't know how to deal with that because, like, my parents, I believe, only had sex 4 times, and there were 4 of us. And so, my dad's batting percentage was 1,000.
Yeah, apparently 4 for 4. I'm pretty good. That's now. See, understand. Like now, how many years are in between your kids?
For my family or for my kids?
No, from your kids.
Let's see. I've got the first 2 years, 2.5 years apart. Mm-hmm. Second 2.5 years apart. But from the middle second to the third, 7 years.
Y'all took a break.
So, 5 years. So we had it kind of where they would have a partner.
Yes.
And so we did 2 out of the gate so that they could like take care of themselves while we ignored them. And then we had a little break
And then you
to
did
regain sanity. And then we popped up
more.
the last 2, and then that was it.
Oh man. No. I was done. I met my wife. She had 3 kids. So those are my stepkids. But they're mine because I had them like since almost birth. Like youngest son, I had him since 1. Oldest daughter, I had her since 3. And I have we have a biological daughter, Kaz. That's our youngest daughter. She's 13. So there was no break. Like as soon as I met her, I was a father, and I was 21.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. So like while I was at 307, I was going home and helping with homework.
Oh my goodness. That's insane.
At 21, and I had homework myself because I was still in college. It was crazy.
All right. So we've established that fatherhood is a great source of material. What about
Yeah, hold on. What about making fun of your parents? Because that's all I could ever. If I was to ever try, which I could never do what you guys do. But I would just reference all the things that my parents, how they tortured me and how I tortured them back.
Absolutely.
So I would use that as all my material.
I use plenty of material about my parents. You know,
Yeah, I mean, because your dad was autistic too. So I
one
mean,
of my
it's like-
favorite jokes about my dad was that there wasn't any romance in the relationship. Drove my mom crazy, okay, because my dad didn't understand emotions, and so he was very, very robotic, and that was what he taught me. So that was really awesome. Really great dad, because that's exactly how women like to be. But anyway, so they had no romance. So my mom would try to like entice him, get him worked up or whatever. Never worked. Well, she bought this thing for Victoria's Secret one time. It was like the lift and separate bustier with the strap, whatever. You know.
I'm mad that you just gave us the whole description.
Yeah, that's your mom. Right?
Anyway,
You do know you're explaining this to your mom.
My dad comes home and my mom's wearing it. She's on the sofa and she's like, "Hey," and he's like, "What is this?" And she's like, "I'm gonna give you super sex." And he's like, "I'll take the soup."
Oh shit! Damn.
What? Oh God! Why wasn't videotapes of cell phones out during this time, man?
Yeah.
Your dad is ruthless. That is ruthless.
That's bold.
And he's still married?
No. Oh no.
He's like,
No. They got divorced a long time ago.
Okay, because that type of love doesn't last long.
No, it doesn't. And no, it doesn't. It was
Well, it lasts 4 kids.
That's true. That's true.
that wasn't love. That was religious duty. that was it in my dad's game. Submit. Jesus commands it.
Holy shit!
Submit. Oh God.
I remember I'm like, guys, can y'all like a book to let me read or something, because you guys are not helping me with this growing up thing.
You got to tell them the story about how you had to go from your room to the bathroom and you had to cross over and they wouldn't leave the door open.
You pretty much told the story.
Oh yeah, I did. I'm sorry. I'm the worst at this. This is why I could never be a comedian. Like I would always just be rude, and then my dad would just start laughing. I'm like, "Why are you laughing?" He's like, "Dude, did you hear what you just said to your mother?" Like, I remember this one time we're walking out, and my mom had this plant. She would always try to be like a plant person. She's like, "Oh, I'm watering it, right?" My dad was like, I was like, because we had this other lady. This is why I can't tell jokes.
But please,
So
tell
there's
some more.
another lady. There's another lady. She kept giving my mom plants, and my mom would kill them. So my mom would be like, "Oh, my plant." I was like, "Yeah, it was a great plant till you killed it." You know what I mean? And then my dad would just start rolling. I didn't know it because I was just being a kid. Like, "Yeah, it was great till you killed it." You know? And my dad's rolling on the floor, and I'm like, "What are you laughing at?" He was like, "He's fucking insulting the shit out of your mom."
You bang, like literally, you are hemming your mom. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you calling her a murderer of plants. It's like you bring plants to her to die.
Yeah,
It's like
it's where they came to die.
She didn't have a garden. She had a plant hospice.
Yeah, exactly. They were like,
Guantanamo
waiting on it to
Bay
die.
for plants.
I'm like, they do need sunlight. She would have it in the house, like never next to a window or nothing, but like on a sill somewhere, like in the center of the house. She's like, why does it keep dying? I don't understand these things. Mommy needs sunlight. Water's just drowning that fucking thing.
You ain't getting no sun at all.
None. She would have like, but it's supposed to be inside. I'm like, yeah, near a window.
He said, "Hey, we learned this all in school.
She didn't get it.
Plants need sunshine."
Could you pass that bourbon over here, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Everybody's refilling except John.
I just started talking.
He's not talking. Oh,
just
you
started talking.
Well, you need to choose some better words, sir, because like you have not called mine out once.
I have a plan because I have a secret counter in my head.
Oh.
So in the beginning, when we say our things at the end, I'm gonna put them above us. So when I do know, so that way when you go back and when I give you my final number and go, that's how many you have to drink, that's how many you
You
have.
can't do that.
Why can't I? You didn't say that. I
did
found the
say
loophole.
that.
I
He
found
did
the
find a
loophole.
loophole.
Zhashing.
How you found a loophole in a game y'all created?
He created.
Wow.
He created.
So next episode we'll be debuting auditioning new co-hosts.
It's a solo show now.
It's just gonna be called the Scholar.
The scholar.
Oh man.
That's wrong. Fine. Then I'll take loopholes of drinking water instead of bourbon for my drinks.
Which you could do.
Actually, yes, you can. I'm not. Because
It all depends on what the number is.
I mean, because it's good bourbon and the sun. I mean, I'm
It's
all
not high.
pro.
It's not high at all. Not yet.
Oh, the number? Okay.
I'm not going to say the numbers yet. But
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
I'm probably at 9, maybe.
See, I wouldn't do that. That's fine. It's all right. It's all right. Whatever.
I'm pretty
he's
sure-
he's just trying to get the final word because of what happened last
One
time.
time he had the other guest who was playing the game with us. He literally sat back, had him he riffed a whole story, and then at the end he goes, "So you kind of owe me 6."
That's exactly what he just did to me.
He's like,
I know, and I felt like a dick the whole time Howard was talking because I just set him up to
He was
say
like,
my
yeah,
word how
1,
much, and I was
2,
just counting under
3,
the table. And I was like,
4, 5, perfect. That was a
There we
great
go.
conversation. You owe me 6. I'm not listening to shit you said, but the word.
we got to have more comedians on. This feels natural and real.
Oh God,
this feels good.
it does
It feels
feel
a lot
good.
better.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to just get a diversity of different types of guests. You know, people that were fun, that I think would have a good time on here.
We
You know,
have, we have one guy that was on here. He was literally like this, and you'd ask him a question, you'd be like, "Yes."
Oh hell no.
Talk about trying to suck somebody out of their, you know what I mean?
I know. I do know what you mean.
Here comes the sexual references.
Keep going.
I've known you a long time, yes. But you're tenacious, I'll give you that.
When you want
He just
something, you go
keeps
after it. I
coming
can tell you
back for
that.
more.
John Welsh, full-throated comedy.
Full throated.
He's willing to go all the way in.
He keeps asking for more.
Oh, my God. This is why we do this. I'm
So-
in my final third, fellas. How about you guys?
I think I am.
All right, I'm
reaching it.
I'm gonna slide my band a little here.
Yeah, I had to slide
It's
mine
got to
down.
get more comfortable because you don't want to smoke with the band. I've heard some horror stories about guys.
Why does it taste like plastic? You're fucking smoking the wrapper, dumbass.
What? Just left the wrapper there
Oh,
and
yeah,
let
they-
it burn?
yeah.
He was like, I wonder what this taste is. It's called chemicals.
So yeah,
We were at a cigar meetup, and literally, we're at our big round table, and we're all talking about this. And this guy comes over, he's like, "Yeah, I trained my lungs to smoke this cigar," and I'm like, "You did what to yourself?" And he's like, "I inhale." I'm like,
Whoa.
What is wrong with you?"
Like that's
The first thing, Alex and I both looked at each other like, no, and he was smoking like Maduros, like harsh.
yeah. He's
I
gonna
trained my
die
lungs.
soon.
I'm like, you're gonna die.
Yeah, like
The oils are not meant for you to
there's
inhale.
pamphlets out there that tell you you're gonna die.
right. That's like the extra Surgeon General's warning.
Remember that guy?
Like if you inhale this, there's been a couple of guys who talk about how they just inhale
It was the
cigars.
guy who said like this. He's like, I trained my lungs on this. No, you didn't. You
Trade my
died.
lungs. I've never seen somebody so focused on dying.
Right? Like
He's
that's
like,
really the
I
end
got
goal
it.
here.
It's November 3rd. That's my date of death.
I mean, do y'all correct them? Do y'all see somebody like smoking wrong? Be like, yo, don't do that.
Yeah.
It's difficult because you don't want to come off the wrong way with a guy you don't know, because if you're like acting like you're better than them and you've got your nose in the air and yada yada yada.
not what
I typically let things go, but if it's like a serious air, like there was a guy, there's a type of cigar called Leaf, and the gimmick for that cigar is that it's actually wrapped not in cellophane but in a tobacco leaf, and so
I
there's
remember that.
Shit.
there's like a band over the band. So you have the band on the cigar, and then you have the tobacco leaf, and then you have another band that keeps the tobacco leaf on the cigar. And that's how it's sold. Well, a lot of people don't realize you got to take that off. That's,
Oh, they just smoking with it on.
light it with it on.
Oh wow.
And so when that happens, you know, we laugh first, and then we stop.
And I know. I was like, do you get a laugh first? Because I'm like, you got to let them continue for a little bit.
It was like
the
is he
whole
really,
table's like, is he going to
Is he really gonna?
Is he going to do
Yeah,
this?
like we're all
Let's
watching.
not do it.
He
Oh,
did.
he did it. He did it.
Now
He
we
did
can
it.
stop him. All right, stop.
There are sticks out there that are called like the ugly sticks and stuff like that. They're ugly. They look like that. So you could quite possibly be like, you're just sort of a dumbass, you know? So
Yeah.
Is there certain cigars that take a certain like type of cut? Like I know we do a straight cut on the end of these.
All right, so let's talk a little about cuts, because I see guys asking about what kind of cut should I
punch,
use? I'm using
yeah.
a punch, and now you have these little boutique style cuts.
Yeah.
So you have a wedge cutter where it makes a V cut.
I saw that, yeah.
Well, they'll take it and they'll make an X cut where they'll cut it and then turn it perpendicular and they'll cut it again, and so it makes an X, and then you have like the crown cut, which is where you just keep doing that until it makes this a crown pattern. It's really just pretension, you know.
Okay.
It doesn't actually like do anything other than be all like. It basically it's the 4x4 jacked up truck with mud tires of cigars when you do all that. But like, look at
makes
me,
sense.
you know.
well, I'm a biter, so I mean, like I bite the crap out of it. So I could just basically.
Yeah, I go with a good straight cut. Now a lot of guys dip their their ends in whiskey.
Yeah.
And that adds a nice flavor. But what ends up happening is your cap will come undone.
I was about to ask about that because like dipping it, especially after you put it in your mouth a couple of times, this starts to get unraveled. Correct?
Yes, it will. I try not to really masticate too much on mine. Google that. Because I don't want to have it get undone. I like to keep it kind of pristine the whole way through, and so I'm real easy with my ends. I don't get all.
So the cut is all show.
It is.
Ain't that a
ultimately
shit?
what you want essentially is just an avenue for air to escape. That's it.
What it is.
You know, and so if you have a cigar that's over humidified, it'll have a tighter draw because the moisture is going to impede the flow of the smoke. So you know that's a problem. But if your cigar is properly maintained and properly rolled, it doesn't matter what kind of cut you have. You know, a flat cut, a straight cut like this one, you're giving yourself the biggest surface area to draw, and so it's like, why wouldn't you do that?
That makes sense to me. Right.
I keep a punch cut on my keychain though, because you never know when you're going to be somewhere and some guy's going to be like, "Your money or your life," or smoke the cigar, and you'll be like, "I have a cut for that."
Well, all right.
You know,
Snap.
so I always keep one of those on, but it's not my preferred style. I'll just use a straight cut. So,
I'm sorry. My brain is like running rampant in my head, thinking about questions that I want to ask you.
Yeah.
And now that as I ask him all the time, and he kind of blows it off a lot because I don't think he wants to.
You don't want to answer it?
He doesn't even. He either doesn't want to answer it, or I think he doesn't want to think about getting back up on stage.
Ooh. Oh, because he gonna get back on stage. That's
because I begged him. I was like, dude, just do a cup. Nah, I'm good. It would take me too much to get back.
he's like, "Tell me what I have to do to get you to come on stage."
yeah. See, and then there's that pause. You have to have that pause.
yeah.
On stage. When you see, and I'm just gonna keep asking questions. I'm sorry. So when you see people on stand up or they're up and coming careers or whatever, they're pushing, they're trying to do new jokes, and then you see them do one of your bits. Have you ever said something to them?
No. It would have to be I've seen somebody do my bit as in like verbatim, as in like word for word. I don't even say it because I know for a fact if they're a young comic, they saw me do it, forgot it, and they were just on stage doing it. I can tell when you're just doing it without malice. Like you didn't know you did. I did a Dave Chappelle joke like my second year in, like fully. It was his joke. And I remember watching it back and I was like, oh shit, that's Dave's. Can't do that. But didn't know I did it.
Dude, I had that happen to me. I got accused of stealing a Carlin joke.
Ooh.
And I was like, what? And the joke was, do you think fish vagina smells like people? And I was like, I've never heard Carlin do that. And they're like, Carlin, and it was basically something very similar to that. I was like, okay, well, you know, it's possible that we both thought the same joke, but like I didn't watch that much Carlin, so I was like, I've never heard of him do
Look,
that.
similar is not the same. So
Right?
I'm fine with that. Like,
But isn't that why Joe Rogan called out Mencia?
well, Mencia was taking jokes.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, but he
was the
would
Amy
frame
Schumer
it-
of male comics.
But he would twist them.
Yeah, twisted a
into-
little bit. But the bad part is that he was taking jokes from somebody who opened for him. Oh. Yeah, like what was his name? What was the comedian's name that had beef with Carlos Mencia? Oh man,
The Chinese guy?
no, Jewish guy.
No, he's Korean. He's not Chinese.
Oh man, I forgot his name. But he stole the wall joke from him, like the Mexicans built. He just stole that from George Lopez.
Yes,
And-
yes, I remember that joke.
Oh man, it's because he stole it from people that are known. That's what the issue was, right?
Okay.
And a lot of people get this. Like, I had a lot of shit going around about even rest in peace. But Ralphie May was doing it a lot in Houston. I heard from other comedians like if Ralphie May's like sitting in the back, don't do your shit. Like I heard that from people. He was like, don't do your set. If he's there, don't do it. And I was like, what that mean? He was like, cause you might see it on TV. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, okay, so I know not to, when I go work out, I don't work out I literally go to work out at open mics. People think I'm over there doing a show. No, these are new jokes and I'm just working them out. So, and they were like, man, that was fire. I was like, actually it wasn't. I just wrote this 2 days ago. It kind of was good. So like when I try out a joke, I can't try it out here because I'm known here. So you going to, just like when you said when you're in front of your people, they already trust you. They already know your sense of humor. So they already trust you to get through the whole bit and it's going to work. So I got to try that bit somewhere else where nobody knows me to get a true read. Like, and I have to go out of state to do that. just to get a true read. Oh, I got to do it at least 7 times in 7 different places and be like, all right, cool, this is the bit. And then I might see somebody do something similar, and I'll be like, that happened. Matter of fact, last night I had a show where a guy had a tag that was like my joke, but it was just a tag, and he was like, man, my bad, I didn't mean to step on that. I said, that's a tag, bro. You can say that don't mess with my joke. Say your tag. Nobody's gonna remember your tag because you just said it within a joke. My bit is 3 minutes long, and it's about that. So that's not the same.
So when you write a joke, it's very, like, you formulate it like you're like, okay, this is how it's going to be played out, right? Okay, so I'm only just trying to take it from my perspective on how I could see people stepping on other people, accidentally. Because I mean, there's only so many things to talk about. Yeah, you got kids, you got race, you got cultural things, you got all those things that you can find dark things and make them funny.
Right.
With music, you got 7 things. And those 7 notes could be used 7 different ways. You know what I mean? And then you have a beat patterns that can literally, everything's always been done. Like when you see Sam Smith stepping on Tom Petty, like you're like, how's that possible? But there's only 7 ways you could do it. You know what I mean? So I understand that. Like if someone steps on someone's toes, it's like, how are you not going to write something very similar to their joke?
It all depends. Like, I think you still need to have a point of view. Like the way Alex worked, like I knew his point of view was different. So like if he came up with a premise that was just like mine, I know his point of view is different. I know it's gonna be different. So why would I even tell him about it?
Yeah, but like, and some people ruin it for some people. Like that guy who does the jokes about music, and he goes, we always thought it was saying this, and it's actually these are the real words, but we always say it's something.
Yeah.
That guy's hilarious, but he ruined it for everyone else because there were people out there who would do that. They would just start dancing. They'd be like, and then like he took that shit because he was so big, and he was like world renowned. Like everyone knows who that guy. I don't know his name though, but and he ruined it for everyone else that was doing the same thing. They was like, well, you just killed us because we can't do that bit no more.
Right.
You know? Because they're going to think we're stealing it from you, but we were really actually doing it.
So, Howard, I got to ask. When I think back on my career, the time where I was having the most fun was at 307.
Yes.
Because we had gotten the weekly show, the open mic show, to be where it was standing room only. We had
crazy.
a ton of regulars, and we were always trying to get guys to come in, like the late great Chris Fontana, Magic Mike, or Mr. Corey Mack, Howard, all those guys, And then you had all the Lafayette guys who were just like every week being like, when am I getting paid? It's like, well, when you make someone laugh.
Damn, you make someone laugh.
That's when we'll have this discussion, And but that was my favorite room. So what I want to know is, when you were performing around that time, what did you take away from the 307 era?
The 307 era was like, if it was almost like a second home, because Baton Rouge we had like reshoes, we had our open mic there, but our scene was not like Lafayette scene. Like, our scene was good, but we didn't, like, that room, 307, was just made for stand-up comedy. It was made for it. Like, you could go in there and work out, or you can go in there and have, like, the best set of your life, and you could have filmed it, and that could have been a special. That's just what it felt like in the room. So, 307 was like it was like our Comedy Cellar, to be honest. Like, in New York, like, that was our Comedy Cellar. We would all go to Lafayette, and we would go to 307, we'd perform, and we'd hang out on Jefferson Street till like almost 1 o'clock in the morning. We did that weekly. So it was just home, man. Like, it didn't even feel like I was driving to Lafayette. I just felt like, well, it's Tuesday or it's Wednesday. We got to go. And like, I didn't ever thought about it. I was like, we got to get on the road for 7. Show starts at 8. We don't
Crowd
even know.
shows up at 10:30.
Yeah.
That was the worst, man. It was like when there was a big group, when I was still trying to learn my craft and like establish myself as one of the guys, I was getting put on early, and I did a set for 6 people.
Yeah.
At 307 because like, it was dead for the first I don't know, 6 months, 7 months. It just was nothing. And
would you change your set if it was like 6 people?
I actually played off the fact that it was empty. I was like, man,
that's what I'm saying.
It's so good to see all these familiar chairs again.
Never knew how clean these chairs were in 307.
So I would play off of that. Anything that I thought could play. Like we made a lot of jokes about how cold it was in there.
Oh, all the time.
Because it was freezing and the artwork was terrible. It was all this weird stuff. Anything I could play off of that. Because anything you could draw on a collective experience, would ingratiate you to the audience, and it would make your job that much easier to start off. Because like you can't insult someone and make them laugh at it unless they like you. Because then it becomes a roast.
Yes.
And so to transition from an asshole to a roast master just meant that perception change. And so that was what I would key on, was just try to figure out how do I get that as fast as possible so then I can start making fun of people.
Did you guys ever have like roast? Did you guys like have like
I
a
did
comedy
roast.
night with roast?
I did several roasts.
All the locals.
I did the roast of Trey Romero,
That was
and
good.
it was at 307, and he because he was the special guest, he went on last.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and you remember Trey?
Yes.
He was like 17 when he started doing comedy with us, and so he wasn't even legal, but he was getting on stage from New Iberia and just like doing his stuff. And he was rough. He was really rough when he started, but like he started figuring it
out.
And he got to be solid. And I ended up on him. I was like, dude, I want you to open for me. You know, when you finally got your stuff together. So it was really cool. Well, so you had those guys going up there, and then we would come in, and it was like you had to figure out how to connect with them early, and then what you could make fun of them. And where were we going with all this?
I don't know.
I was just waiting on your story.
What was-
so was I.
I'm going to switch. What was the original question?
307? Like, what did I like? What was 307 to me? Like, what did I feel about the room?
Yes.
But I will say this: 307 was comfortable enough. Actually, it's the first place that offered me drugs for stand up. First place. Yes.
Nice.
And I mean, like hard drugs. Like I went in the back and was like, "Hey, you want?" And it was an
Want some
8-ball.
crack?
I was like, "God damn, I'm not there yet." I was like, "I appreciate it. Apparently, I made a step in the right direction if I'm getting off at 8 balls." So I was
There you
like,
go.
"Yeah." Like I was like, "Well, apparently, I'm being funny because cocaine's involved." I'm on my way, Farley.
Do you remember the regular
way,
guys
Farley.
who we had to suffer through? Like there was
Ooh,
like Brian Whisper. Do you remember Brian Whisper?
I remember Brian.
I used to do impressions of him. And so Brian Whisper's thing, he was this guy who was like 45 years old, but he looked like he was about 80. Very weathered guy. And he had a very, very subdued persona. And so he'd get up there and be like, "Hi, I'm Brian Whisper. So I went to the store and they forgot to bag my groceries." And like he would tell punchlines like that.
Punchline.
And the way you knew that he had told a punchline was that there'd be a pause, no laughter, and then he'd say, Okay. Then. And then he would move to the next
Yeah,
bit.
you go to the next joke.
And so the running joke was, if I said a joke and I didn't like the response, I'd go, okay then. And then move to the next one. And then I don't know. And then we had Remy, and then we had Scott Kidd. Where
Scott Kidd. Oh my God, I remember that. Ooh, I remember a show with Scott. I think was it a festival down here? It was a festival downtown. It was crazy. We was at 307. He was on the show. It was a bunch of us. I think it was like 10 of us. And he went up there and literally shit the crowd. Like literally, I don't know how he pissed off the whole crowd, but he pissed everyone off. God, who went up after that? Because everybody was like, I'm not going next. It was so bad. Like everybody was like, nope.
some of my favorite moments was sitting in the back watching those guys crash and burn, and we would be all like, what are we gonna do?
What we gonna do?
How are we gonna fix this?
Because I remember Special Ed couldn't bring the crowd back. And we
Holy
knew
shit, there was a guy named Special Ed.
DJ Special Ed. I remember it.
That's
Yes.
right, DJ Special Ed.
Jesus.
He's the reason why the whole thing happened. He ran the show.
He ran the show.
But
And
That's
right.
wild.
It was just right. And he like I haven't talked to him in years. I did message him about a couple years ago because I saw he was going something ballistic on Facebook, and I was like, "Bro, you all right?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm doing good." I was like, "Okay, I was just checking on you." It looked like you was going crazy because he was going.
I think he went to California.
I think he did.
And then
Did he
after
stay
that,
out there?
I don't know. Last I heard, he was still out there doing what? I don't know. Apparently, he was the inspiration for the movie Joker.
I love,
My
bro.
God.
It's good, bro. It's good. 307 is good times.
Let me ask you. I'm being sincere when I ask you this. If Star Search was still a thing, would you ever try to do it?
Now knowing what stand up is, no.
That's why I asked that question. Because now you know what stand up is. Would you ever do it?
No.
Good.
That's just a TV show.
Thank you. Because I say the same thing about like American Idol and stuff like real artists will never do that.
They'll never do that
Maybe
show.
maybe the first couple seasons they brought out real talent.
Yeah.
And real people came from it, like Kelly Clarkson. I think she won a Grammy for one of her albums or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Okay.
yeah, that's okay,
And she
that's
was going to
honest.
do that without American Idol.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's how I think about like real raw talent. I always say it's like something that has teeth. If they're real, they're meant for that glory.
Absolutely.
They're not like, somebody who's all putting that they're just like, they're never going to make it. They're going to make it regardless.
Regardless, yeah.
Somebody's going to go like, they got chops.
No, if you got to understand what that, like, I believe like true artists can go on that TV show and use it as a platform to get bigger, but know what it is. Like every competition I did, I never went in saying, hey, I'm going to try to win this competition. I went in saying, all right, I got a show tonight. All right, I got a show the next night. That's all you got to think about. Like, because the people in the crowd is really who you're getting. If I win the contest, that's dope. But it's also 150 people in here that don't know me. Mm-hmm. So that was my thought process every competition.
Good. I'm glad that somebody else sees it that way.
Yeah.
Because I can't stand it. And even when Comedy Central tried to do their little thing where we're going to push you to the next thing, a special or whatever, there was a winning thing or whatever it was. I was always like, why are they doing that to themselves? Like Todd Glass.
Yeah.
Like when he was on there, I was like, dude, you're real talent.
Talent.
Like, what are you doing?
I think what it is, like, management
I think
probably
he-
push him there too.
Yeah, and I think he just used it as a way to come out as he was gay.
That's all.
I think that's what it was.
and
Like
it's
he was like, I could come out here, and then everyone will know that I'm gay, and then the gay community will accept me, and then they'll push me.
They'll push me.
Wait, Todd Glass is gay?
Yeah. He came out on one of the comedy things, yeah.
Of course you would know that.
Well, yeah.
Coming from where he's from.
Right?
You know? Yeah, like, but it's true. Like, competitions, TV shows, it's just TV shows. Like, once you're an artist, like, once you know what you're doing, it's really, how do you want to display your art, really?
I don't think those reality TV shows are art. I think it's people that they're pushing this narrative like everyone would just be as dumb as possible. We're gonna give you dumb stuff, and you're just gonna eat it up.
Yeah. That's technically what's happening, though. Like, Last Comic Standing as well. Not saying that's a bad competition. It's not a true, like, after you see, like, that they got people that they specially chose to be in this, like the one they did in New Orleans, they selected me to go work out, but it was like 20 of us. But I know they selected 4 that wasn't even from this area to be there that I knew they were going to select.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Those producers already know who they're
already know.
picking. Mm-hmm. They already know. And sometimes they'll find a diamond in the rough. They're like, oh, well, hold on, we found something that's just gold.
And they'll come to you, too. They'll be like, hey, you're great. Not for right now, but you're great.
Yeah.
Like, so we're going to keep you. Like, they'll tell you. Like, they know
That's
when you're
that's
talented or
Hollywood
not.
stuff.
This is Hollywood, man. And
It is. It
it's
sucks.
disturbing to know. Now, the one thing that disturbed me, and a good friend of mine, one of my best friends, who I was on tour with, Robert Powell, he found out, we found out this early, which is like, the funniest people are not like the famous ones.
What do you think about? What do you think about Kevin Hart?
Kevin is one of the hardest working comedians.
But
Is he
it's
the
not the
funniest?
funniest.
No.
No.
But comedy is also subjective. Like, his comedy might be funny to 90% of Americans, but if
was
you're in
like
that
Bob
10%,
Saget.
Yeah, exactly.
He was so successful, but
Went
his
so dark.
his
dude.
material wasn't all that good.
He was always dark. That's the crazy part. He's always been that comedian.
America's
You
Funniest
go from
Videos
full-
was a lie. That wasn't him.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't him. So they create. That's what Hollywood is. That's
Yeah.
what I'm trying. That's the whole point of what I'm trying to say. Hollywood creates this persona of people, and then they're like, "That's not me. I'm this dark, crusty person that you probably wouldn't even talk to in the streets." You know,
That's what Patrice O'Neal said. That I don't know if y'all saw his documentary, but he said that he was like, you want to know? He was like, I never want to be caught not being my true self, so you'll know this is who I am.
Listen, guys, I take offense to using dark to describe it. It's humor of color. Get the fuck out of here.
Perfect
Okay.
segue. Humor of color.
It's humor of color. But speaking of political correctness, since you're still performing, how do you have you had to tailor the way you write jokes? Have you had to change things up because like, oh, this isn't fashionable now?
No, the reason I've actually become a little bit more freer. I actually don't care how, like, I'm starting to. When I first started, I cared about what people thought about.
I'm sorry, man. I love being around comedians because it just makes me think of funny shit. Like when he said that, I was like, "Yeah, for $50 a pop, fuck it."
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, who gives a
Give a fuck.
shit?
Like, we
What
don't
are you
care.
gonna do to me?
And then I thought about it, I was like, you here to see me. I can say whatever the fuck I want. You paid a
Exactly.
ticket.
Yeah.
You want your refund? Get your refund back. So I started like I don't have to be politically correct. I have a point of view
Thank
that I want
God
to get
it's
across.
still
So,
alive.
fuck
That's
it.
awesome.
Thank God
That's
it's
awesome.
still alive. Thank you.
It's still alive. You just gotta be not scared of what comes after it. Like I'm in like for instance, I'm in church. Like I love God. I'm saved. And I still cuss every day. And I still smoke. And I still drink. And I'ma still do jokes about black people, white people. I'll talk about racist shit and then still have you come back in and talk about some mundane shit. You should get all of that when you talk, because that's all of me.
Thank you. See, it's easier to talk to like honest people, and you're just like, yeah, that's reality. It's like
right.
you know what you're saying when you're in your car, and then when you're not in your car, you're a whole different
You're a whole
person.
different person.
Stop doing that.
Thank you.
And I got to be honest. You showed me a drink.
Oh.
Yes.
Ooh, smooth.
See, now he's getting me to count my
Yeah.
freaking words. I'm going back.
Don't go back. Don't think about it. Just sip. If you notice, I've been sipping all because I know I've been saying shit. So just take a drink anyway. After every conversation, just take two just to make sure.
That's why I
cover
keep sipping on stuff. Actually, I've been doing that because I say my word. But
So, unlike your position, like I did an open mic like 2 years ago at Bisbano's while it was still called Bisbano's.
say that again. You did what?
An open mic
When?
at about 2 years ago at Bisbano's.
There is a way.
See, there is a way to
Because
get him to do
I
it.
had so many people saying like, dude, go back on stage. You know, we missed your window. We want to see you.
I'm sorry, the bleeding from me isn't enough. You want me to cut a fucking vein open and spill that shit on you? Get the fuck back on stage.
Even bleeding on the show every episode.
Dude,
Like, please.
literally, I say this shit to him all the time. He starts saying things, and I'm like, stop it. Why won't you go back up? He has a fucking book he brings here sometimes. Why?
Well, let me tell you what ended up happening. I pissed everybody off because I went really non-PC.
Who cares?
And like the 7 people there were just like, we're not gonna laugh at this guy. Oh my god, he's a misogynist.
People want to see the mathematician.
Yeah.
Come on,
Dude.
Bring him back.
Bring him back.
What the fuck?
That's so good. Bring him
Come
back.
on. Bring him back.
He coming back. Nobody. This is the one thing you got to understand about comedians. Nobody that was ever funny is gonna stop being on stage.
Why do you think I have this show?
He's gonna need to be funny. I just want to let you know, it's no way you could just stop being funny. It's no way.
Look, when Yadong was up, how many fucking jokes did you crack in a matter of literally 10 seconds? You riffed off 10 jokes right there about a UFC thing. Why can't we just get you to go? Just start doing sporadically. Get back up. I'm gonna find you shows.
How about this?
Fuck it, I'm gonna get you shit.
Y'all do a live show of this in front of a live audience and just have Alex go up.
Oh my god, you guys.
Come on, dude.
That's how you do it.
I want to see you guys do. I've yet to see. I haven't seen this.
I'm
this
down.
bit. I want to see it. Just
Alex,
do
if
it.
you book a room, I'm coming.
Come on. Let's do it. I'll hook it up. I'll set it up.
Damn.
Y'all got a great look.
Hey, and hold on. I gotta say this, and I'm sorry I have to do this because Doug Stanhope
Yes.
is good friends with a buddy of mine who just passed away 2 weeks ago. Don King, you know who you passed away, but everyone who knows Don King that everyone who ever went to the Yellow Rose, you guys know who Don King is. Doug, I hope you went to the funeral because I couldn't make it. My brother couldn't make it either. But listen, I need to get Doug, and I'm going to push this to him so he can hear
Wow.
you, and like Don King and Doug Stanhope are like this.
Wow.
Okay, for a very, very long time. So please help me to get Doug, because I'm going to push this to you. Help me to get these two guys on a gig. If it's not in Austin, something close to our area, down in Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi, any one of those things. I need to get these guys on.
Ooh, wait.
I just pushed it.
Look at that. He pushed it
All
just
right.
then.
All right.
Look at that.
If you build it, I will come.
Well, I don't want you to come.
To the show.
I want you to go to the show.
Just come to the show.
Hey, listen, I'm cocky, but I'm not boo cocky, all right?
Hey.
All right, so I'm near the end of my third. Do we have any final thoughts on the stick before we review it?
Actually, this is like now a new favorite of mine. This is pretty good. I'm gonna have to take a picture of this and put down like this is nice. Like,
Well, I got the picture. I'll send you the picture. I did one for the show.
perfect. He like this is smooth, man. I like it. This is my new mild right here.
You need to check out the Villager Cream. I think you really like that too. Yeah, that was our first ever show because we had to do like I almost said it. We had to do a very mild cigar that is a cream. I know that sounds kind of weird for a cigar or whatever, but those flavor notes are on point.
Right. And what really paired well with it was whiskey, like the kind he needs to drink right now.
That's pretty good. I like it.
See, why are you making me count words? You know what? I don't even care. I don't even care.
No, but seriously, I really wanted, to enjoy the humor of having Howard on the show, but to see him like find a new stick, that I was really excited about, and really the whole point of why we do what we do, because it's not only entertain, but it is to turn people on to new kinds of cigars,
Build our family,
build the community, and
Yep.
A lot of people smoke Camachos for the Triple Maduro, which is they're real full bodies, but I don't know anybody who's really ever smoked the Criollo. And I know you had the Connecticut, the Criollo. You go to the.
It's not the Creole. It's the Criollo.
It's the Criollo. It's the Criollo. It's like, don't go and order the Arosa con
Monsieur,
Criollo.
you say that, yeah.
Anywho, but this is my first one, and I couldn't be happier with it. So I'm delighted, and I'm glad Howard likes it.
I love it.
It sucks when I pick out a stick for a guest and like they can't finish it, and I'm just like, oh man.
He nubbed it.
But he like is actually ahead of us, so I'm pretty stoked about that.
And I don't understand because I've been pulling on this thing. Well, I'm just gonna shut up.
Yeah.
See,
You've been pulling on this thing. Keep going.
I'm taking my own grave.
He's minding the step kids.
Never seen somebody smoke a cigar with two hands. He was like, "Why is he smoking a cigar like this?" I'm like, "That's not the proper way to hold it."
That's not how you do it.
I don't even know if our sponsors will be able to air this in their shops.
They're just like, cut
Like,
that out, please.
Oh no!
Cut it
They'll
out.
have a sign on the door like, you have to be a jerk to come in because of what's on the wall. I'm sorry.
If you're easily offended, don't come.
But one of our sponsors is the Not So Gentlemanly Cigar. You know what
Awesome.
I mean? Like,
They
on.
love us.
Oh yeah, they're all about it. They don't care. They're like, what?
They love us.
The only thing you guys didn't do is dick and fart jokes. Come on, man. Well, we did actually do a fart joke.
Yes, we did.
So speaking of the Not Gentlemen, my wife is also doing reviews for them. Like, my wife went from not liking cigars at all to now she's a reviewer of cigars for the same magazine that I am.
Well, I'd say she likes the smell. She's always liked the smells. It's just
No, she used to make me take a shower after I'd smoke a cigar.
Wow.
Really?
She was like, "That's nasty. You need to wash that off before you come to bed." I'm like, "That sucks."
That sucks.
But she's
This
now
is
she,
a distinguished smell.
nasty.
now she says, "Well, you smoke better ones now," and which is true. I smoke really nice cigars now.
So you at first you were doing acids, and now you're
No, it was like Fuente Double Chateau Connecticut's. It was not the really like leathery, musky stuff that we have like this. No, it's nothing like this.
Tell me this. What's the next step up from this?
So if you really like that, you may be ready for a milder Maduro.
Really?
Okay, so a Maduro
Maduro's
is
where
the
it's
longest aged, the most flavor. Maybe not Nicaraguan Maduro, but like a Rocky Patel.
No, he's not.
Does that pair good with whiskey or bourbon?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, with Cuban cigars, a lot of people pair those with spiced rums, which is fantastic. But the thing about Cuban cigars is that they have a different basis. Their template for their flavor notes is a little bit different. All Cuban cigars have essentially the same notes and then slight variations, where with New World cigars, which is any cigar outside of Cuba, they can have tons of different flavors. So this one is like an earthier
I like
cigar.
how you call it New World.
That's
The New World.
that's what it's called.
Well, now I know it is. It's funny to hear someone actually say it.
What do you mean I'm funny? Funny how?
Funny. What am I here?
What am I, a
amuse
clown?
you?
I mean, to amuse you?
He's like, oh, I'm a funny guy.
I'm a funny guy.
But like this is definitely one of the earthy ones. But then you have like foundation cigars, which are a lot of spice, a lot of pepper notes. Yeah. This one is really, I find that honey sweetness really offsets the richness of the flavor, and so on the palate, it's like, well, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
But by then you're like, I'm flying pretty good here.
Yeah. Like this is, I'm gonna try that next step up because this is nice.
Well, I submit before you and the entire YouTube world that what I would like to do is I want to get Howard back on the show.
I'm down with that.
And maybe do a live show, maybe do something funny. We'll see. If the show keeps gaining traction and gaining subscribers, I'll push it because I'm all about entertainment.
And we're all about getting you back on stage.
And also remind me to talk to you about something off camera.
Boom. That will happen.
All right, whatever.
Yep.
Okay, all
Oh,
right.
no. I tried to do it for another comedian in town when I first got to this town. I tried to do it for him. He was like, "Oh man, blah blah blah." I'll tell you off camera. I can't. Say it
Can't
on
wait.
camera.
All
Can't
right.
say it on
All
camera.
right. Okay. So now that we've said our preliminaries, let's get into the review. Who wants to lead us off?
I'm leading off. Okay. You said there was a 90 what?
2.
92? I'm not going near a 92. This is an 88 at best.
Wow.
And here's why I'm saying it. Okay. The wrapper, solid. And it sparks that, little viper, you know what I mean? Like the scorpion on it. It gets that because in the middle, yeah, it's there. But I've had to suck the life out of this thing to get a good pull. I don't like that. And that's one of the things where the New World, I like their cigars. I don't, a lot of Cubans,
Okay.
I have to
How
do
did you find the draw, the pull on it? Was it tight for you?
It at first, like I think I got into the second, third, it got a little easier. But the first pull was tight, like
Yeah,
from
and
the beginning.
Yeah, I'm not about that. I don't like that.
Mine was firm, but it was not. I wouldn't say it was restrictive. I think the reason why yours was is because I don't think you humidified yours, the one I gave you yesterday.
No, you're right.
And
You're
so I think yours is going to be a little
I had
bit.
to take pictures. I was outside forever trying to get the right because I was shooting it in the
So
sunlight. I
don't
wanted the
hold
sun
that
to
against the
push
cigar that it wasn't properly maintained.
it. Okay, well, then that was me.
So it's an 88 because it wasn't properly maintained.
yeah. So I'll take that. I'll take that one. So
Because I inspected them when I got it from him, and I was like, because I was wondering, John, did you humidify this while you had it? And I squeezed them on. I was like, oh yeah, yours is.
I was outside forever trying to get this thing to do it because I mean there was no sunlight and I knew what I wanted. So I'm like so I'm not gonna tell you.
So hold for the pictures, everybody. They're going to be
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
He told me about it. They're great.
I did some crazy stuff. So I'm very artistic. I need.
You're familiar
to
with
see,
Goatsy, right?
Goats?
Goatsy?
No.
Oh.
Anyway.
That's
I need to
really-
know.
Oh, Goatsy was a I can't believe I described this.
I need to know
I
it.
just thought you were gonna know because it's so dirty.
No, describe it now.
It was very popular in the 2000s in forums. It's called a Goatsy bomb, and Goatsy was a picture of a man, a naked man, bent over from the rear.
Stretch. Oh my god.
Peekaboo. That was a Goatsy bomb. If you just like put that randomly in someone's thread, and
Well, I'll be damned.
And so anyway, I was trying to suggest that your pictures involved a Goatsy
No.
of types.
It was
They
the
don't-
Rick
they
Rolling
don't.
of pictures, huh?
No, I went overboard because like we're doing these posts for like an online magazine or whatever. So I'm like, I got to take this really seriously.
Yeah.
So I started coming up, and when I pitched him the idea, he was like, "How you gonna do all that?" I was like, "Listen, watch me."
Yeah.
So I animated because in time I tried to get a real scorpion. I couldn't, so I animated one that I found.
Awesome.
So I positioned it perfectly. And
Oh.
it's shadowed. Oh, dude, it's ridiculous.
Okay.
So
Now I
went
got to
all-
see.
All right, so you're going to stay with the 88?
I'm not moving.
Okay, all right. Do you want to
Even
go?
though I
I'll
screwed
go.
it up.
I'll
All
go.
right.
I don't know about level. I mean, 92 is 92. I think it feels that way. But I want to talk about how the flavor changed in between the first and
Okay.
the second. Like, that's what. That's kind of what I want to give my review on. The taste of it in the beginning, robust, and it was flavorful. When I got to the second one, it got a little deeper into the second, third. The pulls got easier, and that's when I started really feeling it. Is in the second, third, and which I can tell is a little bit. It's more than what I normally smoke, because I started feeling a little buzz on the second, third. The first third I didn't feel it, but the second, third I did. But I love that the flavors changed like every 25 minutes. It was pretty good. It was dope.
Sorry, I took a big one. My bad.
You good?
I was like, ugh, that was a whole thing.
Okay, so you want to stay with the 92 or you?
I like the 92, but I would go a little bit higher though. Like I said, I want to see what the next step of this, because this was pretty good. This was good.
All right, so here's what I'm going to say. I was not a Camacho fan before this. I had the Triple Maduro and wasn't really impressed. But when we were trying to decide on a cigar for today, I went to Bailey's, and it was the little mad sign. It was just me and Gary in the humidor, talking about brands. And I was like, all right, it's going to either be a Camacho or a Cohiba. And I said, look, these are the parameters. He likes these brands, and he prefers them mild. But Gary knows me and knows that I like full body. I like a lot of flavor, and I get bored if it doesn't do a whole lot. You know, the ultimate goal for me is I want the symphony cigar.
Gotcha.
And a symphony cigar is one where there is a noticeable difference in flavors through the thirds of the cigar. You want to have that progression where you're like, I'm tasting new things. It's something where even if the conversation is not great, you're having a good time because you're just paying attention to like, wow, I'm tasting something different now, you know? So that's what I like. This cigar had that. I would say this was a symphony cigar because the first third, it was very pedestrian. It wasn't special. It was good, but it wasn't like, I need more of this. But when it got to the middle, I was like, oh man, it's like really rich, but it's really smooth. It had a nice sweetness on the finish. It wasn't harsh at all. It never got acrid. The earthy notes never took over the stick because I don't like mushrooms because they're nasty. Anybody who says this makes the dish taste earthy, you know what else does? Dirt. So let's, I don't
go hard on mushrooms.
I
love mushrooms.
Mushrooms is a great meat replacement. Why are you
Exactly.
beefing with mushrooms?
Like literally, there's like the big ones, dude. People cut them out and they taste like steak. Like
Thank
you're
you.
killing mushrooms.
right. Oh,
man.
I know. I've eaten steaks all the time. Like, you know what would be great instead? Fungus.
You say, you know what I'm not thinking about when I'm eating steak? Vegetables.
Oh, when I eat a steak, I want to have some more, not spores.
Damn, he's going
That's
really
tough.
hard.
I'm sorry. Rooms need to have walls. So mush,
What
no.
in the fuck? He took it to a steak. He's like, Kobe.
Anyway.
Fuck you, dude. I love mushrooms.
Oh, well, anyway, so the earthiness was very well balanced in this one, so I really enjoyed it. And then the last third, I thought, I put it down, but I was working on it, and it was great. I'm gonna go with an 89.
See, don't
Because
knock my 88.
it's on the cusp. Like for us, a 90 cigar is one of those where like after every pull you have to comment, where you're like, oh my god, and it wasn't quite there, but it was enjoyable every step of the way. I really enjoyed it, and it's not an expensive steak. It's like $11.
Oh wow, that's a good
It's
price.
yeah. I mean, so for
I'll show you a $10 stick that's on point.
for those values, I really like that. So I'm good with an 88. I really liked it. I recommend people check it out. It's
no, I'm not gonna say don't check it out because it's still that honey
it's
finish
good.
is ridiculous.
Whether or not you want it in the morning with coffee or you want, I mean, as the damage would evidence, it goes well with bourbon.
Yes.
Yeah.
It went really
all
well.
finished already.
So I'm happy with it. We got to work out the live show and whatever shenanigans you guys want to discuss off camera.
That's gonna be amazing.
We're gonna do that.
We just stick around.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it.
So we're gonna do that. Anything else before we close out?
No,
No,
I
man.
got nothing else to say. I want to talk off camera.
All right.
I got shit to talk about. With that being said, I'm John Welsh and I'm the gentleman.
And I'm Alex Stanford, and I'm the scholar, and this is Howard Hall.
Yes, indeed.
And until next time, keep it smoky.
Always.